The environment is one of the issues I care most deeply about. When I was in law school, as I mentioned, I worked at the Environmental Protection Agency in the criminal division, and those are the most egregious cases. Criminal cases are obviously where the polluter had intent. A civil case, there was an accidental discharge, but criminal cases are particularly bad. And prior to my current job, I worked as the general counsel at a green energy company. As we had software that we hooked up to large office buildings to cut down on electricity use, air conditioning and heating. It's positive for the customer, they're saving on electricity, and good for the environment because you're using less electricity. So it's an issue that I care about and that I've worked in. As to specifics, the state passed in 2008 the Global Warming Solutions Act, but appears to be falling short of the broad goals set in that act. And we only get, I've seen different statistics in Massachusetts, less than 10% of our energy from renewables. So we have to do better for a whole variety of reasons. The quality of our air and water are becoming less dependent on governments that don't always have our interest at heart, and also to create fantastic jobs. I mean, I think sometimes people talk about green tech jobs or clean energy jobs, and it's an abstraction, but I've worked in the industry and seen energy analysts, engineers, software programmers, good jobs that families can be supported on in that industry. So I would, to give a specific example, Cape Wind took, I don't know how long, it's still, I still think there's one final piece of litigation pending. It's been over a decade. Of course, local constituencies have to have their due rights to appeal, sort of, they don't want it in their backyard. But when it takes over 10 years to build a clean energy project, that's a problem. So I'd favor streamlining that process. The bottle bill is another example. I'd favor expansion of the bottle bill, which will be a challenge because I believe there are those in the legislative leadership who are opposed to it, but I would work to build a collaborative effort with other legislators to try to pass it. It just doesn't make sense not to.